Hi, my name is Jake, and I'm a technical consultant at Pragmatic. In this video today, I'm going to show you how you can leverage Dynamics 365 for marketing to create and define a new customer journey to automatically send marketing emails to contacts in your environment. On my screen, you can see a simple customer journey that I've recently created. This will find all users who currently live in London and then send them an email about a London fun run. If this email hard bounces, a new task will be created to get the emails, to get the contact email address. If it does not hard bounce, it's going to wait for 7 days and then send them the email again. In this video, we're going to go through all of the components that make this up so you can create one yourself. The first step to creating a new customer journey is defining who we're going to send our marketing material to. In Dynamics 365 for marketing, this is generally controlled with segments. To create a new segment, navigate to the Segments table in your sitemap. Then select New in the ribbon at the top. By standard, there are two different types of segment, static and dynamic. The difference between the two is that contacts in the static segment must be manually added or removed by a user. For dynamic segments, you define a certain criteria, such as the contact living in London or whether they've opened an email in the last month. Then, contacts are automatically added or removed from this segment depending on whether they meet your defined criteria. In this example, we're going to create a new dynamic segment, so we'll select New Dynamic Segment. You will then be presented with this screen with a list of possible templates. In our case, we're going to select Skip to create a brand new blank segment. Give your segment a descriptive name. And now you're ready to begin defining your criteria. When defining your criteria, there are three possible components that you can use: query blocks, behavior blocks, and segment blocks. Query blocks can be used to query based on fields throughout your system. Behavior blocks can be used to query on contacts' actions with previous marketing content that you sent them, such as them opening an email. And segment blocks can be used to add all of the contacts who are in a different segment. To create a new query block, select Add Query Block. In our case, we want to select contacts that live in London and are active. So in the Select attribute, we're going to select the address one city of the contact, and then make sure that it's London. Then we're going to add a new condition by selecting Add and Add Condition to Contact, and then make sure that the status is active. You can also add related entities to query blocks by selecting Add and then Add Related Entity, and then define the relationship. Since we're only looking for active contacts in London, we're ready and we'll select Save. Before you're able to add this segment to a customer journey, however, you need to make sure that the segment is live and there are no errors. You can do this by pressing Go Live in the ribbon. Once the status is live, as can be seen in the top right-hand corner, you can make sure that your criteria is correct by looking at the Members tab. This will display all of the members that are currently in your segment. Great. Now we've defined our audience, we're ready to start creating our marketing email. To create a new marketing email, select the Marketing Emails table from your sitemap. Then select New in the ribbon at the top. This will then provide you with a list of possible templates that you can choose from. Or you can create your own marketing template from the Email Templates table in your sitemap. In our case, we're going to create a brand new blank email by selecting Skip. Out of the box, Dynamics 365 for marketing provides you with an easy-to-use drag and drop designer for your emails. However, if you would prefer to use HTML, you can do so by selecting HTML in the top right-hand corner. Before we design our email, it is important that we define the email settings. You can access these by selecting the email header component at the top. Once selected, you should see an email header pane on the right-hand side of your screen. In here, you can edit the subject, the pre-header, as well as some send settings, such as the email field we're going to send to, the email address that is coming from, as well as the email address's friendly name. You can also define the reply to address. To satisfy GDPR guidelines, it's important to remember to update the company address if you haven't done so already. Great, now you've defined these email settings, it's ready to begin designing your email. To do this, select anywhere in the empty space. On the right-hand side of your screen, you should be able to see your toolbox outlining all of the available elements and layout section types available to use. Before being able to add elements, you must add your layout section types. Sections are used as a template for how you would like your email to be laid out. To add a new section, simply drag and drop into your email. Once selected, you should see an Edit Layout pane on the right-hand side of your screen. This allows you to update the layout of this section, as well as other useful styling options, such as setting the background color, setting a background image, whether to include rounded corners, the spacing between them. In our case, we're going to add 3 one-column sections. Once you've finished laying out your sections, you're ready to begin adding your elements. Dynamics 365 for Marketing comes with 8 different elements that you can use. Text is used for adding text to your email. Let's add a new header of London Fun Run 5K. You can do this by dragging the element into one of your previously added sections, and then just begin typing. Once the text element is selected, you should see a bar at the top, allowing you to use rich text functionality. This functionality includes common features such as changing the font, the size, whether to bold, italicize, underline, as well as change the color and the orientation. In our case, we're going to make this slightly larger, bold, and place it in the center. You can also add more complex rich text editing, such as including links and personalized dynamic fields from Dynamics. Let's say we want to pull the first name of our recipient. We can do this by adding a new text element and then selecting the personalization option in the rich text editor. This will then present you a window. Select Dynamic Content and then the entity that you would like. In our case, we want to pull the contact's first name. So select Contact and then press Select Relationship. In our case, we're going to select No Relationship as the first name is on the contact. However, if you would like to add dynamic variables from other related entities, you can define them here. Once you've added the relationship, you can select the field and then select Insert to add it to your email. Another useful component is the image component. To add a new image, simply drag and drop the image into one of your sections. Then select Choose an Image in the pane on the right-hand side. You will be then given 3 different options: Browse Library, Upload to Library, and Insert from URL. Browse Library and Upload to Library will open your file library. The file library is a place where you can store all of your media that you want to include in all of your emails. When you add new images to your file library, it will store them in there, allowing you to access them when designing any different marketing email. To add a new image to your file library, select Upload to Library. To insert an image from your library, select Browse Library. You can also add a new image by selecting Insert from URL and entering an image URL. In our case, we're going to add an image from our library. Find the image, select it, and then press Select to insert the image. Some other useful components that come with the Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Marketing is the button, where when clicked, it will navigate the recipient to a new location, such as a Teams event, marketing page, or a direct URL. Video allows you to embed videos you have in your file library or directly from a URL. Divider will add a horizontal line to your email. Code will enter custom code onto your email. QR code will enter a QR code, and a content block are custom modules that you can create yourself to easily add groups of customizations. Once you've finished and are happy with the design of your email, it's time to test. You can test your email by selecting the Preview and Test tab at the top of the page. Here, on the right-hand side, you can see how your email looks on different devices. Finally, you can send yourself a test version by selecting Test Send at the top of your screen. Once selected, you should be presented with this window. This is where you would manually enter in your own email. And select Test Send. Once you're happy with how your email looks, it's time to go live. You can do this by selecting Go Live in the top right-hand corner. Once it is live, you can then add it to customer journeys. Now we've defined our audience and its content, we're ready to start building out the journey. To create a new customer journey, open Customer Journeys in your sitemap, and then select New at the top. You will then be presented with a list of different templates. In our case, we're going to create a brand new blank customer journey, so we'll select Skip. The first thing we're going to want to do is select our audience by selecting the Set Audience option here. Then, on the right-hand side, you'll be given a different options of the source type, which is Segment, Updated Contact Info, or Submitted a Form. In our case, we're going to select Segment. Then, you're given the option of Segment or Subscription List. Add the segment that we recently created. Now we've defined our audience, we can then begin defining our actions. You can do this by selecting the plus icon between the start and end. The first action we want to do is send a new email. Select Send an Email action, and then select the marketing email on the right-hand side for the one we just created. Now we've sent the email, we then want to create a task if this email hard bounces. You can do so by following the path and then pressing the add sign after email. We then want to add a new if/then option to check if it hard bounces. This will allow you to define logic throughout your customer journey and take the contact down their own bespoke path. So we create a new if/then and then select it. You will then be given the option to select a source. In our case, we select email, and then in the select a condition, we want to check if it has been hard bounced. This wait up to condition here will ensure that this if then condition will not be checked for 3 hours. If this is satisfied, we will then select add new action and then create a new task. You can create a new task activity marketing template by selecting new task marketing template here. Once you've defined the name and the subject, select Save and Close to create your task activity marketing template. If this condition is not met, we want to wait for 7 days by selecting a wait for condition and then changing the duration to 7 days, and then we're going to send them another email. Selecting send an email and then the email that we created. Great. Now we've defined our journey. We're ready to save. And then go live by selecting go live. Once the customer journey has gone live, all contacts in the active London contact segment will begin on this journey and be automatically sent the email. As new contacts are added into this segment, they will be automatically enter this journey. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it useful. If you have any questions or want to learn more about Dynamics 365 for marketing, contact us at sales@pragmatic.co.uk or call us on 01908 038 110 or check out our website at www.pragmatic.co.uk. Thanks.